welcome to this episode of Skeptic and Ranting. World's smartest man claims he can prove the existence of God.
Well, he must have an IQ of 190. Oh, no, it's actually higher than that. It's higher than that, yeah.
James, you gotta get 200 or higher just for God to speak to you, okay? He doesn't want to talk.
It'll make sense then. It doesn't make sense because we can't understand
yes,
it.
It's 3D chess until then. And then at 200, it just becomes 4D chess, and you understand God. I think. Yes, let me read the manual. Anyway.
What's left is right and what's down is up. Okay, it all makes sense.
See, at that IQ, you understand that drowning babies is actually like the best thing you could have done. It all makes sense.
Oh, and
Thank
like
you,
a
Noah.
loving God could design a fucked up world with unnecessary pain and suffering just for his own amusement. Yeah.
You know what? A weird one that I've been thinking about lately, just
What's
because
that?
why not, is that Eve didn't have to go through painful childbirth. Women didn't have to go through painful childbirth, but it's actually a punishment thanks to the fruit. Thank you. And I don't just mean me.
That's why a lot of devout Christian women, when they're in labor, they refuse all pain medication because the pain is something they need to. It's from God. It's holy. Mm-hmm. It's something they need to endure because that's the way God made it. So it must be for their benefit. It must be something they need to experience. So yeah, you wouldn't want to thwart the will of God by, giving them some morphine or something, so they're not in pain.
Yes, suffering for Jesus, just like, as we'll talk about tonight, grifting for Jesus. However, yes, we are watching a video from the channel Motivation Manifested.
Yes, thank you, Victoria.
Sending so much love. Sending so much love to everyone out there as we listen to World's Smartest Man. I feel like I was basically grunting when I just said the title. World's Smartest Man. World's Smartest Man claims he could prove the existence of God. So won't you join James W. and myself, Amy Newman, for a time so intelligent that it will theologically blow your mind. Woo! What is up,
I have heard that that some expectant mothers they don't want to take pain medicine from the dentist, so they just go without it. I don't know if that's religious though, or if they're just afraid it's going to have some effect on the baby. But I've heard of that. Girls say that they had to go get a tooth pulled, but they're pregnant, so they didn't have any medicine.
Wasn't allowed to be breastfed because it would be poisonous milk, whatever the medication that they gave to my mom. However, I'm not aware of God needing anyone to not take medication for pain. I feel like that is just people reading into it and suffering.
There's a book, I think it came out in like the 70s. It's called Pigs in the Parlor by Frank and Ida Mae Hammond. They're two whack jobs. And they tell you things like, oh, aspirin and Tylenol are demonic because they're altering the way your body works. Yeah.
It's true. Which, James, means that CVS and Walgreens are selling Satan. I knew it.
Well, they also say that
for 5 years. You win.
Diabetes is a demon that's shaped like an octopus that has like its tentacles on different parts of your body, so they don't work right, like your pancreas, your the feet, because they have a lot of problems with the nerves in their feet. So it's got a tentacle there. It's got tentacles all over you. And once you
Alternate
excise
answer.
that demon, you will, they'll be able to not be diabetic anymore.
Alternate answer. The priest or pastor, whoever came up with that theory, was using a little bit too much coke and LCD. But
I don't know what kind of
LSD.
effects that would be if you combine the two. That would be trippy. Yeah,
I
that
feel
would
like
be.
it would get you an octopus. That would be the manifestation of diabetes.
Yeah.
But yes, we are talking the world's smartest man claims he can prove the
Demerol is amazing,
existence
amazing thing, Cafe.
of God. We often come across this claim that if someone is highly intelligent, wouldn't you believe what they have to say? This is indeed the world's smartest man. Though, let's put a few asterisks on Christopher Lang. They were measuring his IQ quite a few years ago. It's since become much harder to kind of quantify that sort of thing, and I would say he probably there's others who would have surpassed him by now since they stopped taking the test. Nonetheless, smart guy. Does that mean that because he's smart, that he understands the mind of God? No. And I think we will find that out for ourselves tonight.
Well, does it mean that he's maybe better at coming up with nonsense reasons why you should believe in God? Maybe.
Yes, maybe. Is he able to memorize chess moves a little bit more effectively? Possibly. Is he able to give some sort of pantheistic, I don't want to say kalam because it's not a kalam-like argument, but some,
it's almost
cosmological,
like a presuppositionalist argument, a little bit.
Yeah. I also like won't say too much, but he's not a Christian. But he's talking to a Christian in this video.
Christians love him because
yes,
the Christians love him.
Because as long as you're on Team God, is much all they care about. However, I should say that because it depends on which area you focus. Because the liberal Christians or the liberal religious people are, may find themselves allying themselves more with liberal social causes. However, people like Christopher Lang are grifting, as far as I can tell, as you can tell, I think you'd agree, is that he's basically saying, listen, don't think about that stuff too much. I'm a smart guy. I give God my thumbs up.
I approve.
Pass this around to, your flock. But before we get too much into it, thank you all for joining us. Please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Let them go, YouTube. I said it. We all said it over and over. And then once you hit that bell icon to all,
I am Amy Newman. No, I'm Amy Newman. We're all Amy Newman.
Oh my goodness. You see, that's the other thing about him that, I don't want to say it offends me, but anyone who uses consciousness
I think I know
in a way, well, it goes into it. I was going to say the Neo and the Matrix and the simulation, because that's his whole shtick. His whole shtick is, we're in a simulation. And here's my simulation theory. I don't know how he would be able to prove that we're in a simulation, but he's got something. And somehow, therefore, he can talk to Christians and say, yep, yeah, all that crazy shit you think is true.
I thought you were going to say the Ned Flanders mustache was what got you.
No, just the fact that he abuses consciousness. We'll get into that and his tries
to mystify it. And, instead of trying to make it more simpler and approachable, easier to understand, they they try to make it mystical and make it more
Quantum, James.
less
Didn't you know?
understandable. Less understandable, yes.
Yes. Once again, a lot of technical jargon is needed for a lot of these subjects, especially when we're dealing with scientific topics. But I become skeptical by the increasing amount of jargon that someone uses, especially if a lot of it seems loose and vague and undefined.
Yeah.
So where we get, like you were saying, the presuppositional argumentation.
Well, I mean, it's like if two doctors are discussing somebody's medical condition amongst themselves, you'd expect them to use lots of jargon and higher level terminology. But if you're trying to explain that to the patient,
Everyday people,
you can't talk like that, or they're not going to be able to understand anything you're saying.
And it makes it seem like, not always, but it makes it seem often like they're trying to impress instead of communicate, which is often what science communicators are trying to do. Take very complex subjects like the Big Bang, like evolution, and try and make it simple for an average person to understand.
So that even somebody like Ken Hoven really should be able to understand it. In fact, that he doesn't seems to be evidence that he
so that
really
even someone like Ken Hoven can misabuse it, and yes.
Yeah.
But sending love, we did say, if you hit that bell icon, like all that good stuff, you can see our premieres or join our live streams.
Empathy and respect.
What is up, empathy and respect?
Empathy and respect.
What is up? He had a dream. Really? Well,
wow.
Apparently this goes in. I shouldn't say this video doesn't go into dreams. I sent something to James right before we started, just because now I saw something Christopher Lang, everything is coming into my feed. And they sent me this video, and it's only for he's only in the first 3 minutes. But it is him making the argument that he is fully conscious at all times, even when he's sleeping. All times.
Yeah.
Humans. What is so great is that such smart people can say such stupid things. And listen, I'm not going to act like I'm not in that category. I'm not trying to say that I'm smart, but that I don't say stupid things. I'm just saying that just because you're smart. What is up?
Just because you're a genius, you might say stupid things once in a while.
Yes. I mean,
we put bleach in the lungs. Can we do that? Is that possible? Yeah,
James, that's what I mean. You were just
yeah.
Oh my goodness. And the blue hair in me has been getting stronger. Like it shouldn't. I know as you get older, you are supposed to get move
to the center, to the right.
Yeah, or at least move towards that direction. I'm not moving away towards compromise. Dale. I'm not moving away towards reform. However, I can feel myself drifting bluer as I feel more reactions bubbling up. But that's all political. That's to come. I know eventually the scab is gonna break, James, and I am gonna talk politics again.
Yeah.
Because I fume in the text chats and all of that.
We'll let you heal on your own skate. We won't push you too hard.
Thank you. But yeah, sending love. What is up, Stephanie Helms? Woo! We should talk about the Big Bang. They're allergic to the Big Bang, just like evolution and Ember. Woo! And Jazz. Woo! What is up? I support this message. What's up, Dale? Mwah. Sending love to everybody. And then Farron says, hello, Amy and James, and everyone in chat. Looking cool.
Glad you think so, Dale.
Actually brought my props back in, James. We're going back old school. Boo, boo, boo.
Going back to the bad days.
That's right. Listen, the spirit of Carrot Top inhibits me But what is up, everyone? Argon, Moon Shoes. Thank you so much, Farron. It really does help us keep the lights on. And Mass Bandit and Captain Death, Michael Bell. If I didn't say your name, keep on saying hi, and we'll keep on saying hi.
Hi.
But Bob Fam, everybody, we are going to get into it. We'll do a few quick other shout outs, but James,
No time to waste.
they are word salad experts, as I think is the word that you used. They
articulate word salads, very articulate.
Yes, it reminds me of a Dinesh D'Souza, or what is
Jordan
the
Peterson.
Canadians? Thank you, Jordan Peterson. Who
Talk
sometimes
so much,
confounds
but say
me.
so little. So little actual sense you can derive from so much speech.
But they look snappy in a suit. I'll give them
Thank you,
that.
God equals the square root of -1. But you should have censored out the C word, not the F word. But we'll let that go.
That's right. Send in happy holidays.
That's the word you can't say.
Oh, that's right. You're not allowed to say Christmas. I forgot. Ever since the war on Christmas, you could get shot for that. I'm pretty sure. Shot with a water gun or nutmeg or something.
Shot right in the face.
If you rub something hard enough. What are we talking about?
Amy's dreaming of a white Christmas.
Once again, James. Rub that hard enough. Doesn't matter what skin type you are. You will get a white Christmas.
It comes out white. Yep.
I'm so sorry. Why do they always point up when they pray? I'm so sorry, Satan. I shouldn't be such a naughty girl. I'm sorry. Yes, but yeah, I did.
Satan might have to paddle you if you keep it up, Amy.
Satan is such a silly concept. I know that we're not going to get into the nitty gritty, in this episode, but I still do not understand if he is working for God or he is just this fallen
in the Old Testament.
thing.
Because in the Old Testament, it seems more like he's working for God. He's on the payroll.
He kind of was the accuser. He was God's right-hand man. They were making employee bets. They were basically two guys coming in to the side of the bar going, I bet you I could make that guy go crazy.
Yeah, no, he totally loves me. He'll do anything I say. He'll do anything I say. Oh yeah, but he just does anything you say because you're nice to him. But let me take everything away from him, and then we'll see if he does everything you say.
Also, I like how it's like a slow movie bird. You got to just take everything, just slowly, just remove this. Listen, once you have truly poor, you will understand, and also leave your family and sell your belongings. Then James, you just need to follow this random rabbi, and you too can, I don't know, become an apostle. You can join Jesus in heaven and worship on your knees.
He's got a recruiting office. What?
He does have a recruiting office. But yeah, sending love out
Ken
there.
Hogan would say the retirement benefits are great. Eternal pension.
Yes. All of the people that disagreed are also burning in heaven. Or burning in hell. That would be fun. We need to flip over hell and make it. I just did it backwards again. We need to flip over heaven and make it burn. Make hell a beautiful place.
Oh, I sent you another video about a Catholic priest who got sent to purgatory for 3 hours.
Didn't Jesus go to hell for 3 days? Every time I question him on that, they kind of get a little iffy.
It depends who you ask and how they interpret it. Some interpret, yes, he went to hell and he preached to the people down there and he was able to take some of them out.
Okay,
but
that had to be funny, right?
Yeah.
Like, imagine you are getting something shoved up your wherever, and like in the middle of that, here's Jesus just off to your right, like, and then the one commandment and the second commandment and the third commandment. You're like, Jesus, excuse me, just give me a second and I'll listen. Anyway.
Would you like to come out of here, Amy? Come worship me forever?
I mean, it's this or get the pineapples up the...
On second thought, that might not sound too bad.
I was going to say, listen.
Yeah.
In that movie, I'm pretty sure...
Can the pineapple be on fire? Can they burn?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You gotta get
soak it in kerosene, it would probably burn, yeah.
Once again, though, James, after you do it so many times, eventually it's going to be a fetish.
There you go, Victoria. Iron chariot.
That's true, because God seems to be afraid of iron chariots. Wait until he finds out steel exists. That's going to really mess his day up. Oh, my goodness. What's up, Austin Slims? The logical argument from me. Yeah, they tend to pull a lot of nonsense. Invite Dre Dyer. By all means. Sometimes I go to other channels because I get people who say, go on their channel, blah, 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 blah.
If he wants to come on here, reach out to us.
Sending so much love, Celtic.
What's the email? amynewmancomedy@gmail.com.
That's right. By all means.
Come on, send an email.
What's that? I don't bite unless you ask. It's true.
You're into that, yeah.
But yes, let's send some love out to everyone out there. First of all of our subscribers, viewers, the haters, the lovers. If you send in a super chat, thank you so very much. We'll send love throughout the whole night, as well as try and remind myself to send love to you at the end of the show, as well as the super thanks. There's also channel membership with our evolving badge system, because evolution triggers creationists. Once again, our badges will just evolve over time. It doesn't need anything but an accumulation of time. Sometimes, James, I get people who tell us that we worship time. We just
the
all
pacifier
go,
for the atheists.
Yes.
Pacifier, yes.
Time. But yes, as well as our Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Newman. Here it is in there. I'm choking on my own air. Nothing too serious. And sending love to all of our supporters out there, including ones like Azo, reminding we have a Skeptic and Ranting community, and you're all invited. As well as Chris Disciple, reminding us we have atheists and theists in the Skeptic and Ranting community. Davegar, reminding us that the world is round and 4.5 billion years old, which is not... I know we call it the old Earth, but it's only because of how we look at time scales. The universe is 13.8 billion, so 4.5 billion, not actually that old.
Well, Celtic, point some of these witches out. Let's bring them on too.
Yeah, I always say, they call you a witch, they call you Satan, or like you're possessed. I always say, what does that get me? Do I get cool powers? Do I get to possess people? Do I get to levitate? I'll take anything. Because if the only power you have is being a human, it doesn't seem like a power.
You can projectile vomit.
Okay. I'll put that down. I mean, I feel like I could get the same thing if I went to a frat party. However, we're going to put these down, I guess, in the pros. I mean, I sometimes dig the movies, all right? The Exorcist type of movies go 50-50. I don't not see an Exorcist movie just because I'm an atheist, because it's Hollywood. That's where it
I've
should
seen
be,
Exorcist
actually.
movies, yeah.
Yeah, who cares? I see ghost movies and all that stuff. I don't think ghosts are real. That's the proper place, actually, for those types of things. Yeah. But if you disagree with us, by all means, feel free to tell us in chat, and you're not going to get
I'll tell you
censored.
what, Amy likes frogs.
I do, by all means.
So you go back to the
I will
ancient
say,
Egypt, to the plague of the frogs. She'd be fine.
2 reasons why I like frogs. One, because that's kind of a silly plague. Like, I get it. It's scary a little bit, I guess. But, like, you have to admit, compared to, like, famine and killing of firstborn sons, watching frogs fall from the sky is just a little weird.
Hail that burns, that lights shit on fire.
Yeah, and then frogs. I mean, France would be like, is this a plague? Oh. But the other is just Alex Jones for continuously reminding me that we are trying to turn the frogs gay, and I look forward to RFK Jr. fixing that. God bless America. It says so on the back of our money, I think. Right? Let me turn it around.
It says so on the back, probably on the side too. I think it says on the side of some coins.
Yes. Therefore, God exists, I think. Right? That's how it works, probably.
We're so confident we have to constantly remind people that he exists, you know? Every time you look at a coin or a dollar, you need to be reminded, hey, God's real.
All because of the scare of communism. We had to make sure. Our founders, our forefathers didn't need that schniz. Oh, but okay. Sending love to Rachel Holen, reminding us we should not take slaves from nations around us. It's okay. You can go to a goth club and, put a collar around people. They just got to consent. Sending love to
Even if they act like they don't consent. It's all part of the play.
Yes. Listen, once you consent, it's okay to act like you're not consenting and go, oh my goodness, and then rub.
You're not going to make me do all those household chores, are you?
But then you shove them into a maid's outfit and you realize that Yahweh is a filly little bitch. What are we talking about? Anyway, sending love to Rishos. God is a jealous God. I always like how they try and defend that too. It's like, but he's worthy of being jealous. We should be giving him his, his worshiping, his just comeuppance.
We owe it to him. We owe it to him.
We owe it to him. That's right. He's worked hard. He's worked hard for his money. So hard for it, honey.
That's why, God took the teenager and says, son, I've sent kids younger than you to hell. I didn't want to do it, but I felt I owed it to them.
But they like telling me that the kids from Noah go right to heaven.
Right.
They went, boom, straight up there. Now, if they stayed on Earth, they would have, of course, went to hell.
99% of them would have gone to hell.
But then why don't they do that anymore? Why not just boom, boom? Thank you so much, Stephanie. Okay, that gets free. Just
yes, indeed. But I mean, you have to remember though, he was quite the fashionista from the Book of Exodus. Remember all his
he has weird fashion rules.
Making,
yes,
all his cute outfits he was making for the high priests and everything. Yeah,
James,
different colors and different bands and straps and.
Can I also point out how much of a diva you have to be to want a sacrifice of something, and it has to be a perfect sacrifice? That's not just unfortunately a Christian thing. Like the Jews really love a cow that has never been blemished. Why?
Especially a red cow. So that would be the best cow.
And
The
I
red
think
heifer.
Muslims have like a yellow cow. Everyone's got a cow. Some religions
Holy cow.
worship cows.
No
They're
sacred cows.
sweet
around
animals, even though I eat many of them. Oh my goodness. What's up, Spooky? What's up, everybody? What is TV Tube Scabba Cadaver? I feel like I should have put that together faster.
here.
Sending so indeed. Sending love. If I do ever say your name wrong, however, just tell me, because I am naturally just terrible at that. Good at comprehension, bad at pronunciation. That's what the tests on my IEP notes said. Sending so much love to finally Ian Davenport, reminding us that apologetics tends to be crappy. I'm not saying that we won't take an argument. I'm not saying that we won't take a syllogism. I am saying that I don't understand why they get so angry. James, this is how it goes. They ask us for what evidence we want. We say what type of evidence we want. They tell us that that's unfair or stupid. You the ad homs. Can't ask for that. What type of evidence is that? Empirical. Testable.
Physical, tangible, verifiable.
Little things like that, James. Picky, picky, picky. But yes, thank you to all of our supporters, our Patreons, viewers, anyone out there. You are what makes the Skeptic and Ranting community.
It's like asking, going to a restaurant, like, oh, I'll take anything, and then, okay, what about this? Nope, don't like it, hate it. Oh, this, nope, can't stand it. This is all horrible. This all sucks.
It's emo God. I'll ask this one question, then I'm gonna hand it to you, James, and then we'll go into the video.
Okay.
What did God lose in a sacrifice of himself for himself and the mistakes of his perfect nature?
Ooh.
The answer is nothing. The whole thing doesn't make sense because it's a sacrifice of himself to himself for, as far as we can tell, rules that he created. And thus, you just have to listen to the Christians do mental gymnastics. I'm going to hand it over to you, James, and then we're going to get into the video. But what are your thoughts? And send in love. I see Dave Rogers. I see lots of everybody in there sending so much love. We're about to go into the video.
We are definitely unworthy to be Gomorrah residents. That would be quite an upstanding place to live, I would think, back in the day, right? Probably have a 5-year waiting list just to get in there, just to get a little apartment. But hey, God didn't like it, so it's not there anymore. But we are glad to be back. Hope everybody had a nice holiday. If you celebrate, if you don't, if you just go with your family and spend some time with the people you love and care about. Hey, that's great. So this guy, I've seen his videos floating around for, I don't know, probably at least 6 months now. Lots of channels are picking him up and covering him, and while he is a very, very intelligent person, sometimes that only serves to make them able to formulate very ornate, very verbose, complicated reasons to believe in God that don't actually make sense. A lot of them are very hard to understand because of the terminology they use. So I think maybe people might think like, well, damn, I couldn't understand a word of what he just said, but it sure as hell sounds smart. I don't know. Yeah, God needs to speak up. He really doesn't. been kind of shy over the past 2,000 years. We used to do things all the time. Now we just get divine hiddenness. Oh, we love to have PhDs. We have had a few people with PhDs on the show in the past. Lovely people. Most of them on our side, but we'd be willing to talk to ones that aren't. Muslims versus Catholics. Theoretical degree in physics. Yeah, there you go. That's about the same as my physics degree. Which, hey, a lot of the, due to division of labor, nobody's going to be an expert in everything. You're not going to be able to learn every single field of science and study. That's just not practical. We have to, at some point, focus on the things that we're more interested in, that we're more apt to learn and to pick up, because we're all different. We all learn differently. And yeah. Learn what you're good at and what you like to do. And let other people do what they like to do. Well, there you go. Theoretical physics, that's a pretty hard major. What PhDs in the past? There's a guy in the community named Jason Torn who has a PhD. We've got a guy named Christopher Thompson who has a PhD. Those come to mind right away. Beamsy has a PhD. He's been on before. Probably several more that I'm just drawing a blank on right now, but we have had several PhDs on here. Pat Lowinger is working on. He might actually have it by now. He's probably if not, he's on the verge of getting his PhD in archaeology. We haven't had PhD Tony on here, I don't think, but Tony, he's the you talk about the he's the earthquake guy, the seismologist. If that's the same one, yeah, I like him. He does really good debates. He really sticks it to the flat earthers because he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, he's great. PhD Tony, he's great. I want to say I saw him with Nathan Thompson or some clown along those lines. Maybe not him, but somebody of equal intellectual level as Nathan Thompson, and just get absolutely steamrolled by PhD Tony, just taking apart their arguments one by one. They have to be immutable. PhD from Husser University. Well, hey, counts as an honorary degree. I don't know how many honorary PhDs Kent has. I think it's at least 4 to 5. Almost got an honorary PhD for every one of his ex-Mrs. Hovens. Yeah, Tony's done that a number of times. I don't remember the exact. I've seen him more, like at least 2 of his debates, but he's always done really well. Especially flat earthers, because flat Earth is just so silly, and it's almost not worth debating them unless you have to at least troll them on some level, or it's not even really worth it, because you can't take a debate like that totally serious. It shouldn't be taken totally seriously, because the concept is just so absurd, so stupid. Yeah, it's a good idea. I do like the idea that we are taking them apart, are dismantling their arguments, because it does help. It does help some people, but still. Um, don't trigger Amy.
Yeah. Sending so much love out there. I also want to, just listening into the conversation, we've
Celtics.
had student Dr. Ben, who is now Dr. Ben.
Oh yeah,
So
he's Dr.
sending
Ben
love
now.
to Dr. Ben. We've had, what was that theist that, like, he believes in evolution? He was both on my side and against my side.
Is that
At
Adam
one point.
Moore?
Not Adam Moore. This person has a PhD. I'm trying to remember. Pretty sure it was a modern day debate. I'm trying to remember the guy's name though, because he would consistently try, and he was nice to the theists, but then every time we brought up about evolution, he would of course agree with that. Goth, why does that sound so familiar to me? Maybe Cygart.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, because he became a theist later in life.
And he'll mostly focus his skepticism on abiogenesis, even though I think that. Oh yeah, is Guts a Gibbon have her PhD?
I believe that she does have it now. I believe that she does. Yeah.
I can tell you that Guts a Gibbon is amazing, regardless
She sure is.
of that. She has a fantastic academic background, and she focuses on primatology. How cool is that? We are indeed primates, also.
And she triggers the heck out of them. She really triggers them, which is
she does. Which is so funny, because can I tell you who I think trigger sometimes creationists the most? It's the Randolph syndrome. It's that when you're super nice, I think it becomes hard to, piss some of these people off. And so she's just very cool and calm and collect. And exactly. And she can just...
it's fun to mess with Kent. It's fun to
break apart all of these creationist arguments.
Fun to fuck with.
Exactly. It is fun to... Ooh, there you go. Pocket Walker 86 has 2 PhDs. So sending love to everybody.
There's probably at least 3 or 4 more that are just not coming to mind right now. But.
And we support academia. If you have not gone to college, it is never too late to go to school. My suggestion, this will be the last thing.
Professor Dave.
Professor Dave.
Yeah.
My Professor Dave is all over YouTube. If you want to get into basic biology, Bio 101 and even 102, you're going to see a lot of Professor Dave videos. So good on him.
Bring on the apocalypse. We're ready for it. We're ready.
My goodness, sometimes. But I still think we're going to, unfortunately, it's going to take us a few thousand years to get rid of this religion thing. But James, we're doing
I don't think so.
The best we can. Hopefully. I'm hoping that it's exponential. And so, although it took thousands of years to get here, I'm hoping it'll only take hundreds of years because of the push in technology and education and everything. There's sometimes better parts, but generally, it's an upwards trend. And yeah. But let's get into. Oh no! Say whatever you'd like.
I just said, well, I think once we find out we're not alone in the universe, once we find life on, or official confirmation of life elsewhere, then I think within a few generations of that, you'll probably see mass defection from religion.
That would be funny if true. I think there'd be half of them that would probably just try to convert Jesus, or convert them to Jesus.
At first, a lot of them would just say, "Oh, they're demons. They're this. They're that. They're part of this. Is the end." And then, when that generation dies off, more of their kids will be more receptive to, "Hey, maybe this is just a diverse galaxy, diverse universe." And
well, I'll keep on telling you, I'm open-minded to it, and it doesn't contradict the natural world. So
not at all.
Bring them on. But okay, let's get to it. We're gonna apparently talk to the world's smartest man because he claims he can prove the existence of God.
Maybe you should play it in like 0.25 speed. That way we can absorb all the information that he's going to be throwing at us.
It is going to be a lot.
Rapid fire. Take notes. Take notes. A lot of information, lots of good stuff coming right at you.
Gizmo, don't hurt me.
Baby, don't hurt me.
They updated the background, but we are going to get into it with the world's smartest man claims he can prove the existence of God.
Everything. The first question we have to establish. If we're talking about a theory of everything, the first question we have to establish, does God exist?
Yes.
Simple as this.
Evidence.
The reality has an identity. The identity is that as which something exists. Matter of fact, when you say the word reality, you're naming an identity.
Yeah, wait. No reality, the entirety of what we see as our universe, or the one we're interacting in?
Identity. It is, you're identifying something. This.
I'm smiling because your answer on this is so beautiful. It just reminds me of...
Because it doesn't actually tell you a damn thing.
Moses at the burning bush says, who shall I tell the people that you are? Talking to God. And God says, tell them I am that I am.
That's right.
I am identity itself.
It's praise,
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly right. That's what the CTMU says. It just comes up with the mathematical structure that you...
So you're going to notice a common theme. And that is him basically agreeing with whatever the other theist has.
Need to build a reality.
Saying it goes to the CTMU, but how does the burning bush?
And then you search it for its
property. CTMU.
Yes, exactly. The simulation theory, burning bush, basically they go together.
Built the preliminary framework, then you start deducing the properties of this identity, and you find out that those properties match those of God as described in most of the world's major religions. Buddhism, Taoism.
Really?
But many of them contradict each other.
Hinduism,
but Christianity says all these other religions are wrong.
Taoism.
I also like how we're starting with all the Eastern ones. It's almost like they take a Scientology approach here. They're like, all right, we know that a bunch of hippies with, piercings and blue hair are going to be watching this. Let's get them in.
Their central principle is the way, or the Tao, okay? And they don't see Tao as God.
Yep.
And then in Buddhism, of course, you've got, they are trying basically to achieve sunyata, or emptiness, right? Which is a lot of Buddhists don't even understand what that's supposed to mean.
I just love that claim because you'll notice, all right, like a little bit, just a little of condescension for other theists that he views below him throughout the video. Just notice
they don't even really know what it means.
Again,
not even they, not like him, James.
You can kind of read God explicitly. Some Buddhists, I've talked to Buddhists who actually think that there is a God in Buddhism of a sort. But that concept of pure consciousness is what it is. Okay? And if you ask them, well, whose consciousness are you talking about? They will point at themselves and say, my consciousness. In a way, they kind of attribute the existence of everything to themselves.
Is that really a good faith explanation of what they're doing? Is they are attributing existence of everything to themselves? Doesn't sound like it, but okay.
But anyway, when you look at what they've all got, you come down to the same thing. everybody has the Tao or the way, you know, that's the way reality
Neo.
works, right? And everybody, you know, has sunyata, which is pure syntax, right? Pure cognition.
Pure syntax. That doesn't make any sense. Syntax is the grammatical rules that you're using in language, and pure like, what would that even mean in that application? Okay,
with no instantiation, no content, right? And then you've got what
Do you know what's
No
great,
content,
James?
yes. Yeah.
This has electrolytes. That's what makes it better.
the Abrahamic religions call God. It's
here
all
we
the
go.
same thing.
It's all the same thing. Listen,
even though
if
they
you
wanna
have
kill
an
each other.
Eastern, yeah, exactly. Even though they go to war, and even though, you know, none of these religions, all generally speaking, agree with each other, we can all, you know, James, we can all come together and eventually come to the one religion that they're trying to push. See, they're all right, except for, as this channel will eventually get to, there's one that's a little bit more right.
Okay, but what are its properties?
Okay.
Are its properties such that you can deny the existence of God?
Squishy?
Or are its properties such that God definitely has to exist? And the answer is
What?
God exists.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
You just
That's a what we
force
like to
the answer there. But you can deny it.
Christian. That's just conjecture,
Yeah.
right?
That is. That's just conjecture.
Properties of the central substance and central principle of reality, those properties are
What?
attributed to God, including, of course, you know, things
What?
like you have the three O's: omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence. But then you've
Here
also
he goes, priest up.
Yeah, here we go. Also, why? Why do you have to have these omnis and then you have
Just
to
to
bring
fuck
in...
with you.
I know.
Just to annoy you.
Well, I think he does these also to relate with, you know, these Christians, and I'm sure if he was in the, you know, trying to relate with Muslims or Jews. But then consciousness. They love consciousness, James.
Can't get enough of it.
God has to be
Can't
sent.
get enough of it.
Yes. You can
Why?
establish a personal relationship with God.
You can?
We're images of God. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's not what a lot of other religions say. Some religions say that, so how does your personal relationship match up with all the other ones that say that it's a universe, that it is a God that doesn't interact with the world at all?
Good to see you,
Images
student.
is basically the product of a mapping. God maps himself into each human being.
What does that even
Right?
mean?
That's a very personal thing that God is doing for us. Right?
It's so
I
personal.
don't understand how
Doesn't even-
anybody
It
can
is.
say that it's any.
I don't understand what that means that he's mapping, because mapping seems to be like a continual process, but God can see everything at once. Wouldn't it be God has mapped who we already are? I feel like I'm being a little pedantic, but that's the whole point, is that we are linear conscience agents moving in direct time. I don't understand. Okay.
Different. We reflect the structure of the universe. Each one of us, we're carried by it. Everything we do, we exist in a medium. What is that medium?
Carbon?
Yeah. Matter?
Yeah, matter.
Right? Where did it come from?
Yeah.
What holds it together? What is the unifying coherence?
Gravity.
The source of
Here we
coherence
go.
of that
Here
medium.
we go.
Is your claim a
Dark Dawkins
pantheistic claim that God
Belief that the universe and all things within nature are God.
Basically, that is what he's kind of saying.
Yeah, but I love his extra. Once again, James, you have to look down on people.
is the universe,
Not
or the
enough.
universe is God, and that's that? Or no? Or is God outside of the universe and created?
God
say,
is greater
No.
than, well, what is the universe?
damned if I know.
You ever
Everything that we can interact with, we call the universe.
hear of the simulation hypothesis?
Yes.
Okay, well, the simulation hypothesis is basically the idea that the
There we
reality
go.
we see around us, physical reality, is simulated on some sort of an automaton or a.
But what does that have to do? Like, because James, it's going to get real in the weeds as we go further. And I don't understand
Listen,
what we could be in the Matrix has to do with Christianity, has to do with, and they're going to go into like specifics that you would think in Christian. Yes.
God is like a 13-year-old kid in another universe on his computer, and he's just made the Sims like 37, and the computer is powerful enough to give us all simulated consciousness, and that's God.
There we go. I also forgot to say, as we're going through here, feel free to tag at James W, at Amy Newman if you want our specific comment shown up on screen, or at least talked about, and send us so much love. We're getting back into it. We're talking the world's smartest man, with an asterisk, please, claims he could prove the existence of God, though I guess that's with an asterisk too.
Or a computer. The idea is that you've got some kind of an automaton running, you've got a simulation running on it. Mm-hmm. And God, it's more panentheistic. You know what panentheism is? The idea is that you've got the physical universe that you see around you, but God is not confined to the physical universe. Okay. An ordinary pantheist assumes that God is somehow confined to the universe, that there is just what we see around us, and God is in every piece of it. God is distributed over it.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit more complex than that.
James, he's not ordinary pantheist. You understand?
Because this part of the universe that we see around us cannot exist just
got to be a
itself.
bigger word.
Okay?
Exactly.
There are certain things that it entails. And when you go
pantheist plus
into those entailments, that's how you get to God. That's how you get to the identity of reality. Okay? And now to get back to the reality of self-simulation, or at least that's what I call it, self-simulation. But to get back to this
self-simulation.
Stimulation.
I was going to say a little bit of both. Whatever gets you off on Friday nights.
Simulation hypothesis, that we're living in the display of that simulation. In addition to the display, there is also a processing aspect.
What does that mean? That's not even like the LCD is not where things are being processed. It's being processed in the CPU. What is? Okay, just continue.
Okay.
Get me there.
It captures both of those things.
Good movie.
It captures both the display and the processor.
Okay, it captures both the display and the processor. What does that mean?
What about what type of RAM is he using? What type of motherboard? Is it an Asus or?
But that's just now saying God is the computer. Okay, prove it.
What do you mean? I hate to put it in.
Well, I mean, okay,
here's AMD Ryzen. You don't understand.
Yep. Okay, you see things. These are static. Yep. That's why they're called state. Yeah. Okay, static. How do they change? Well, they have to be processed. Something has to be processed.
Yeah.
And in the calculus, for example, those are tiny little infinitesimal intervals. Okay, but they are not actually contained in the states themselves. They have a neighborhood, a little tangent space or what have you, where you can sort of draw little vectors that suggest that some kind of processing is going on. But the idea of being a state and being a process, those are two different things in the ordinary way of looking at it, okay? It turns out that you can't properly describe reality and causation at all unless you put those things together somehow.
Really?
Why? Reality is just the shared sum of the universal experience that we all have. We live and interact in reality, and causation deals with space-time. You were here, you went over there, there was generally a cause. I was hungry, I grabbed a snack. I feel like they make this way harder, and we can tie those together. Yeah. That happens in reality. Okay, whatever.
And that's what it takes God to do. Okay? God provides the processing functionality for your state. You have an internal state, an external state. You're a material human being.
I'm a material girl, James.
Like, to explain how that is changing through time, and maintaining its coherence through time, even as it changes, that's what you need God for.
To explain that it is changing.
We don't need God for anything.
I don't see how God helps maintain physics.
Yeah, we don't need him for anything.
We needed Einstein to help us understand general and special relativity. Did not seem to need a God.
How do I make sense of consciousness?
James, it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. Like, and I know I talk about consciousness a lot, and I feel like sometimes it's snooty when I say that when other people talk about but it's not just other people, because there are people way more experienced, way more academically invested. I'm trying to look for through my consciousness, through the right word. It's like a red flag. It's just the same as when someone starts talking quantum. Okay? It doesn't mean that whoever's talking isn't actually a physicist, and what they're about to say isn't going to be crazy. And maybe they're a biologist or a neurologist.
Biologist.
And and so they're about to actually say something that makes sense about consciousness. And yet every time I listen to quote unquote smart people with no background and generally within a supernatural sense, I get more confused the longer I listen. But hey, that's what we're here for, James.
Well, ordinarily, quantum mechanics, you know what quantization is?
Why? Why are we talking about quantization once again? So now we have it's like a multiplier, James. We have said consciousness now. Okay.
You decide what the ultimate irreducible objects are.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out,
Irreduced
in order to quantize that theory that I was talking about, that theory of identity, where you've got the display and you've got the processor, and it's handling both. It turns out that in order to handle both of those things, you need a certain kind of quantum. That quantum is called an identity operator. God is the...
Why would you need any sort of quantum for biological mechanism of consciousness? I get it. Consciousness is the frontier. It is where we're still learning a lot. You know, it's very crucial to us because we're conscious organisms. But James, why do they have to make it like this? Why is he bringing up quantum physics to try and explain why we scratch our butts at night and then walk over to grab snacks? Because I know that's not a beautiful picture, but that is what consciousness is, right? Like, it's beautiful. Sometimes we are making love. Sometimes we are painting pictures and writing symphonies. Sometimes we are scratching our junk and we walk into walls, right? Both of those things.
Yeah, true.
Sending so much love. Yeah, we're about to reach halfway, and I get the feeling.
Thank you, Native Atheist.
Sending so much love, as Native Atheists remind you. Still no proof of God.
Haven't got there yet, but we've got a few minutes to go.
We've gotten many assertions. We sometimes get mysteries. Yes. And we get sometimes a little bit of condescension. That's also my favorite part, is the slight looking down of other theists as if they have a more sophisticated theology, which he clearly thinks that he does. But yes, thank you so much, Native Atheist. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Shake, as I shake my computer, I do have to.
Earthquakes in Maryland.
Yes. Oh my God. I have a little boy who asked me, I won't say his name, but he asked me over and over in class, Miss Newman, what's an earthquake? And I have to go to the tectonic plates. So we're having a shifting to where you can feel the movement and things fall over. But I have to have like that response in like a half dozen different ways, James, because laughing over and over. It's cute though. Sending so much love to native atheists, sending so much love to everyone out there. We are apparently watching, again, with a lot of asterisks, the world's smartest man claims that he could prove the existence of God. We'll see if that happens.
Identity. So obviously these little quanta, they have
Obviously.
to be, they're doing things.
These little quanta. We're not talking about qualia. We're not talking about really anything that any sort of person working on, how should I say this, a hypothesis or working to hopefully build a theory within the neurological field, the biological field, would talk, but good. Let's talk about quantas.
Things they're processing, so we can call them operators, right? They are identity operators. Okay, the identity operator.
Well, why would we want to do that?
It's input from the outside world, recognizes it or accepts it using syntax, processes it, and then returns it to the world as external state. Okay, so things.
That was a very rudimentary thing of saying a computer. But yes, some of our function of our brain works like a computer. Other mechanisms we don't get from computers at all.
Come in, then they're processed, right? There's throughput, which is, you could call that the subjective or internal state of the identity operator, and then it's returned.
What? He had like a single moment of like clarity, and then it goes back to
the external universe. So what I'm saying is that's consciousness. And I'm saying
there you go, James.
That's consciousness.
Simple as that. That's consciousness.
Okay, Ned.
When someone says, "Did you lose consciousness?" you could say, "Oh, let me check their quantum state." Thanks.
that
not if they were
consciousness
asleep.
exists in every part of the universe, because those are the quanta.
No, don't check. Don't throw water on them.
No, that's
Don't
what
talk
I'm asking.
them.
Are you telling me that this table is conscious?
Okay. Anyone have any
Here we go.
bets? Here we go. Make your bets.
Of course, it's not conscious.
In that sense, yes, generically conscious. But
There you go. James, I love that phrase. I've heard him say that now from watching this a few times. It's just generic conscious, okay? We must have either specific conscious, special conscious, super conscious. I don't know what the McDonald's Happy Meal has quite put,
He's,
but it's not generic.
He's one step away from hooking up the tomato plant to the polygraph to try to
This is
measure
what I
its
mean.
responses.
Exactly. He's this close to holding metal cans and watching just a thing go boop, 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 boop. But, like,
With,
this is what I
with
mean.
The auditor.
He says he's the world's smartest man. Well, once again, and regardless of whether let's say he's one of the smartest men, because outdated tests, all the rest, but he's telling you the table is conscious. And James, I went through a small phase. I'm sympathetic, but yet I understand, I think now, why plants and fungi are not conscious.
Even after your DMT experience, when you looked at the chair and you looked at, you looked at your 14-inch black dildo and said somebody had to make this dildo so I can shove it in my ass. That's amazing.
Yes. No, that was more just realizing that it takes a bunch of people. It was getting me through some of my selfishness, but now I forget.
That we're all interconnected. We're all interconnected.
But this is my continued reminder to people.
Yes,
that just
James Wolfe. James
when
Wolfe.
people, what's up, James? Yes, it is, unfortunately.
I think James
Is
Wolfe might.
When people talk about consciousness, just know that it's a red flag. They might be saying something highly intelligent. I'd say the chances go up the higher their academic background, especially in that very specific field. I know there's tons of people out there that, it's not the fan to
Absolutely,
meet
Stephanie.
the expert. experts, but no, the experts. What is
Takes a
that?
village.
It does. It does take a village to make it. Woo! Not only does it take a village, but as Nami would say, no one remembers.
I think I remember reading in the police report that if you had stuffed one more dildo in that bag, it would have collapsed into a singularity.
I'm pretty sure. Yes, if we had done one more dildo or one more Bible, I'm
One more
pretty
Bible,
sure
too.
either
Yeah,
one.
Were there no more hotel rooms in the Tri-County area? You had already cleaned them all out?
Stephanie's like, say it's sex toy, gosh darn it. And I just want to say that anything is a dildo if you're brave enough. Sponsored by Nabisco.
It's relying on our consciousness to do it.
Okay. Let's just back up a second.
That's what I'm asking. Are you telling me that this table is conscious?
In that sense, yes. Generically conscious.
Generic.
But it's relying on our consciousness to do it.
What the does that mean? If it's relying on our consciousness, James.
Maybe he's trying to say, oh, well, we're conscious and we perceive it, so therefore it's vicariously conscious because we're conscious through us. This
is where I continuously point out, okay? If you believe in evolution, then consciousness is a new function. As far as we can tell, unless you think single-celled organisms are conscious, then
doesn't appear
most of life, yes, I really push back on this. Consciousness is fundamental. Like, I get it. Consciousness, because we are conscious, is going to be one of the most important aspects of our life. We're going to be extremely biased to it. But that doesn't mean that it needs to be a building block of the universe.
Was that Bubble who we got into the argument with about plant consciousness with trees? And so people will say that, oh, well, they can respond to stimuli, but that's all automated responses that have been bred into them through evolution.
This is more what I meant by my phase. I would say instead of a phase, I would say it's just giving me context in that it might be more of a spectrum, but I would put them at such a far end, anything that they're trying to explain. So there was research that showed that some versions of plants can emit a cry while they're being cut. Not a cry, but a sound, some sort of sound. And then there are plants, you could say, well, they move in the direction of light stimulation and stuff like this. Isn't this a form of consciousness? And I would say no. I would say that some of those examples do rudimentary things of what maybe, if you build upon them, would eventually one day become conscious. But plants don't need to be conscious. They don't need
building blocks.
Exactly. They don't need to react like fungi, plants. They don't need to react like we do. They each have their own mechanisms for gathering energy. Plants are able to generate sugar by just standing, playing defense, and gathering in sunlight. They still need water. They still need to collect rainwater. That's what roots there, besides anchoring. That's why roots are there. And then fungi, I think fungi are cool because they really are the exact opposite of us. They're not only are, yes, they tend to be a stationary thing. They tend to cling on to something. But they also, instead of us, you think of us, we put something in our big old mouths, and then it goes down into our digestive system. A fungi injects their digestive fluids onto something and breaks it down. It's just a different method. And thus, they don't need to be conscious, nor does the table need to be conscious. It's okay. I feel like it's this comfort thing. Everything has to be conscious.
Need to be conscious.
Yes.
You don't have to apologize for it rubbing it on your ass. It doesn't mind.
And I think we sometimes do anthropomorphize things. We say, like, say, oh, this was my favorite ship. We call our ship girls' names sometimes, things like that. And I get it. We get attached to things, but that doesn't mean that they're conscious or alive. Toilet paper probably was alive at one time. Doesn't mean that it's conscious, and it's definitely not now that it's dead. All right, let's continue onward. He's like I said, the nonsense is just going to continue.
There's levels of quanta, okay? These
Levels
are
of
tertiary quanta. They're all put together using physical
says,
local.
okay,
Tertiary quanta.
Like you're following what he says. Like just
Yeah,
like,
I know
okay.
exactly. I mean,
Okay.
listen, for a channel that is called, like, what the hell is it? Motivation Manifested. I feel like this is perfect terminology for their audience. They'll know exactly what tertiary.
You could see
quanta
this guy
is.
though, like having one of your famous encounters at Wendy's with the trying to make an order, trying to explain.
I am not going to explain to you quantum superposition. I want a quantum super bacon double.
This counter
Anyway.
right here is conscious, okay? And you're leaning on it. You're putting food all over it. You're not respecting it. This counter is fucking awake.
That would be. They think that vegans got a lot of crap. Could you imagine people who didn't want to use tables or chairs because they thought that they were conscious? By the way, he doesn't act like that's true, but that makes me want to create a skit where people really did. They're like, excuse me, you have to take off your shoes, and we can't really eat food on tables, and we can't really sit on chairs. We can't really stand on rugs. We just have dirt, which is terrible because if you think about it, the dirt is conscious to James.
Forces, right? But those are underdetermined. They don't fully determine what happens. Why? The Heisenberg uncertainty principle, for example, it tells.
Another hyper technical term, a Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
I forget which. Start talking. There was someone who always was waiting until someone would bring up the Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
Tells you that
you cannot know both the position or an orientation of both testicles at the same time. It's impossible. You can only know that for one of your testicles. The other one,
yes,
you don't know.
If you put one in a box, is it actually two or is it just one? You don't know until you give it, I think, a super quantum stroke.
Both they're probabilistic.
Right.
They don't actually determine.
Why are we bringing up the wave function collapse? What does that? Also, I know what it
trying
has
to say.
to
It's
do.
a function of the mind.
I know.
Yeah.
This is what they always. This is another thing. If you are unfamiliar with this, and it has been said that an observer makes a wave function collapse within, let's say, an experiment. It makes a position. Say you have the famous Schrodinger's cat experiment, in which it could be the cat is either alive or dead. If you just have any observation, it actually makes some position. But that observer does not have to be conscious. It could be a machine.
Before you observe it, it can be in either state.
Yes. It is a misunderstanding of the wave function collapse. It's a lot of fancy physics to really misconstrue biology because, again, before there was life, there were planets, there were stars, there were first generation, before carbon was around, just hydrogen, helium, and lithium.
We're a third generation star.
It didn't need consciousness, or at least it didn't seem to.
Events. Yep. Okay. So what determines events? We do. We don't know how we do it, but we do it. When
Depends on what you mean. Because if you mean we do causal things, then yes, sure. On a local level like that.
everybody's will is put together, we're all creating the best possible universe we can for ourselves.
Really?
And God
Put it
is
on
what
a t-shirt.
harmonizes all of our different perspectives and makes things happen for all of us at the same time. And if we were doing things correctly, this would be the best of all possible worlds. Sadly, however,
Reminds me of teach. I said love the T-jump in his church, the best of all possible worlds.
we oftentimes make mistakes.
Yes.
And that's what we have to get out of doing, but we can't get out of doing it until we
I like how they say sometimes we often do, and they flash legacy media on there for a second.
understand what reality is, what we are, and what the relationship between those two things is. Reality is
A deep reminder that the Matrix was created by two transgender women. I'm sorry, James. We're this far into a podcast, and Soros was in the back of my head saying we had to mention something LGBTQ. I'm sorry. Once again, sponsored by Nabisco.
is actually generative. Okay, it's not just fixed manifold.
Reality is actually generative. James, what the does that mean?
It has no meaning.
Everything is being created all the time, not just.
It's just he's truly in bullshit mode.
Our states are being recreated.
It's word salad, but it's very articulate word salad.
Yes, it is technically English. He is making sentences, but we're creating everything at once, James.
Is there actual intelligible information in there? Not so much.
You know, I can cross my legs, I can uncross my leg. That's the changing state.
Yeah.
But the medium around us is.
That wouldn't actually be a change of state. I would actually say a change of state, if we're taking state, it would be emotional states would be like happy and sad. But yes, I guess once again I'm getting too pedantic, and why actually look at logistics of anything he's talking about?
It's changing. When I look at you, I'm seeing Michael Knowles. Okay, I'm seeing you sitting there.
A fancy guy.
But that means that I'm seeing your boundary. I'm seeing what distinguishes you from the external.
James, and I want you to know we have to put very specific boundaries. I have to know what your safe word is. I have to know what God's safe word is.
Why does he have that satanic
There's a medium
sigil on
around
the
you.
screen?
That's
a satanic symbol.
There we go. Fucking Satan.
So I have to be regenerating that at the same time as I'm regenerating your state in my head, okay?
Why can't you just talk? This is what I mean. He doesn't talk like a biologist. And you don't have to talk in that way. It's just, it bothers me that it's not just our brains are processing things. Our eyes get images. It gets processed back here. We then make some sort of decision and we go about life. I didn't need to talk about quantum at all.
But who regenerates his mustache?
When I say regenerating, there's a reason I'm doing that. I could also say I'm recognizing Michael Knowles. I'm recognizing your state right now, but I'm also recognizing the state of the medium around you, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to distinguish you from the medium.
What does that mean? First of all, we're very good at being able to decipher faces. That has been built into us because of our social species. And I'm glad that you're able to tell the difference between the host and the chair. I really don't feel like you need God for that, though.
I mean, you wouldn't exist at all.
You do.
In the universe,
You do.
everything changes with time. You're actually,
In the universe, everything changes with time. So true. So true.
Yeah.
In the theory of relativity, for example, all the points are events.
Yep.
Okay, and that means that there's a time parameter involved.
It just feels like he's making up. Yeah, space-time. We have points and events.
Okay.
God is outside of time and space.
Well, God distributes over time and space, and there's some left over.
I love that. As if you went shopping and you're just like, all right, we have a little left over. Let's go crazy. We have extra God. Let's store him. Keep it away for later.
It's like, hey, this bottle was only supposed to make 5 cosmos, but we made 5, and we've still got 2 shots left.
We should
It's a little
make
left
it a
over.
holiday.
Time and space is static. It's a display.
Yeah.
Imagine you're
Displays aren't very static, but let's again logistics.
a
who
little
cares?
homunculus inside a computer display, like the Matrix, for example, okay? God
Right.
not only distributes over that, but there's a whole other domain where God exists.
Where
And that's the processing.
Dark web.
domain. It's the non
it's in, it's in the kitchen.
On the dark web, yeah.
The non-terminal domain.
terminal domain.
Okay.
Also, I love how once again we're selling this to Christians, and as we get into chapter 3 here, our final chapter, that's when we really sell it to them.
This sounded a damn bit
We're in the
like
terminal domain.
Christianity,
Right.
Judaism.
And most-
Yeah, so far we've been very, you can be any religion. We're talking consciousness and quantum states and all this bullshit.
Physicists, when they try to reason about the terminal domain, they reason under physical confinement. Okay, well, I can only look at physics, and I have to use what I
Something you have used, I was going to say very little of. I would say you've used inappropriately.
know about physics, what I can observe about physics to explain everything else that I explain.
It seems
So
to
they have
work
that
pretty
kind of
well.
mandatory.
James, you like fucking apples? I can't do the joke. There's a comedian that breaks down that apple joke.
Ted Bundy teaching physics. What?
That's what's it called? Ray Feynman.
Closure.
Yeah.
Going right there.
So, speaking of this non-terminal domain, in a really basic question, I'm not going to ask you if I'm going to go to.
Okay, once again, we've been talking about consciousness. We've been talking about quantum states. So clearly we should talk about
heaven or hell. But will I go to either heaven or hell?
Also, can I also replay that? I know what just
I'm not going to ask you if I'm going to go to heaven or hell, but will I go to either heaven or hell?
did you
Say,
Anyone
don't tell
else?
me which one, but I'm going to one of them, right?
You will persist after you.
You will persist. Okay, can I just
He
say,
knows that how?
James, this is all that went through my head the rest of this video, okay? Imagine that you are with your girlfriend or a boyfriend, all right? And you're walking on the boardwalk. And then all of a sudden, she or he sees a tarot card sign and it's flashing in neon lights, and you roll your eyes deep into your skull and they drag you in there, okay? The moment they sit you down and this tarot reader looks them up and down, that is what Christopher Lang is doing for the rest of this video. He is looking at the person in front of them and going,
What does he want to hear?
what do they want to hear? What does this person want to get out of this experience so I can get my money? Anyway, that's all I can think about the rest of this video. See if you have the same feeling.
Persist. In other words, I will survive.
Hey, what's
Hey,
up,
hey.
Beamsy? I'm way to hell.
Oh fuck! No, Wesley, we're not going to be listening tonight.
What's up, Wesley?
You die. Okay. Where you go depends on who Michael Knowles really is.
Once again, I just feel the crystal ball forming.
And you would know that better than anyone.
Yeah, I hope I know that better than. But you're telling me I'm going somewhere.
Yes.
You're confident.
Based on
Evaporate.
I don't know. Did you put the $50 in the slot? Then yes, I fucking think that you're going wherever that you want.
Turn into oblivion.
Well, you can. If you displease God, that's exactly what's going to happen to you.
Wait a minute. Displease God. What happened to the universe? Higher than the universe. Everything. Now we're getting very specific, James.
God is going to cut you off, and he's going to say, I can't see him anymore. He's going to turn away from you, and then you won't be able to
Bible quote,
reunite
okay.
salvation will be impossible for you because salvation means that God has got to pull you back into himself.
Right.
Okay, but God doesn't want to see you anymore. He doesn't even know you exist. He knows your physical body is there, but he's not interested anymore because you hate him. You deny his existence.
Okay.
Anton LaVey in the background.
But didn't that also just sound like someone who was like going through a hard breakup? He's just not interested in you anymore. And to be honest with you, it's because you hate him. Oh, okay.
You offend him, so he's not going to look at you, right? So now
He's the creator of the universe.
He's a little bitch because he
I know.
gets offended by any little thing. He's offended by somebody eating pork or shrimp or yeah.
But I
Any
like
number
to
of stupid
think
things.
that not only is he the creator of the universe, James, not only can he control space and time, but I also like to think that he can use the block button. It's like these little things. I don't know.
Oh, his
Oh,
Twitter,
yeah.
his X account is not
want to live.
disabled.
Yeah.
There's something in you that still desperately wants to live, so it's still going to be there. What happens now?
Right.
Well, you try to create your own world for yourself, but if you're a bad person and you're an evil person, what kind of world is that going to be? It's going to be an evil world, and that's what we call hell.
This is
See, I was up with you up until hell, though that was kind of, we could still go, Eastern, but they're going to turn it back around.
what John Milton says in the mouth of Satan. He says the mind is its own place, and it can make a hell of heaven or heaven a hell.
Now you got it. Once again, what is reality?
Once again, they go back and forth between really metaphorical and then, but it has to be Jesus.
Is reality just stuff out there?
No.
Yeah.
Reality has a mental aspect.
Yep.
Right? And
Yeah, there is a portion of reality that has a mental aspect. It's called our brains.
How we perceive it.
Why does it have to be everything? Why can't it just be the stuff in here? Octopi might have some portion of their thoughts in their tentacles. Really fucking cool. Not supernatural.
once you admit that basically everything has a mental aspect, then of course what's going on in your mind is real. It takes on a kind of reality. It's not the same as physical reality. It is nevertheless real.
Yeah, it's mental. Mental, okay.
Are angels and demons real?
Yes.
Once again, James, he just turned the tarot over. He waited and he said, yes, of course they are. That's that.
You want them to be real, right? then fine. Yeah, you think they're real, then fine. They're real.
Yes.
I think so too. Is there a fear that
table
drug you might be letting in the wrong guys?
Okay, I love this.
Oh,
okay,
they keep showing back of it in the background.
Extreme. Oh, Jay, and that's who we worship, right? He's the sponsorship of the show. Mossad, Soros, and Bahamut. I'm pretty sure those are the three trifecta.
Yes.
But I love this. Okay, once again, this is just a very subtle thing. But if I was a lawyer,
Is there a fear that if you take some of these drugs, you might be letting in the wrong guys?
That's a problem, isn't it? And that's a problem that I think a lot of people have encountered. You have to be a certain kind of person to be able to handle these drugs and not be sucked under by
That's what happened to Amy. That's how she got.
No. Indeed. But can I tell you what this says? Let me tell you. If you thought that was an anti-drug PSA, read between the lines here. You have to be a certain kind of person to be able to handle these drugs.
Oh, I can handle
and not
them,
be
right,
sucked under by them. Do you know what that implies? It's both his condescension showing himself again, and also him saying that he does drugs. Just want to point that out.
Or that he definitely has in the past.
You just got to be as smart as he is, James.
So you won't get tricked by the evil spirits. They can't trick him.
Because once your mind is messed with in that way, something else, it's weakened, you're not exactly in control anymore. Something else can come in and grab it. And if you open up that gap that I was talking about, what can come into that gap might not be good for you.
God is real, angels are real, demons are real. Is the devil real?
Oh, yes.
Oh!
Yes.
Once again, he turned over, and my cat's going.
Of course he's real.
Of course he's real.
I mean, we've got gods real, we've got angels, we've got demons. Of course, we're going to need the devil, right?
I mean, at this point, he is just changing because this isn't what Christopher Lang. He's this like, well, again, known as Pantheist Plus. He's known as like the simulation theory guy, but he's sitting in front of a Christian, so why not? Devil, angels, who the cares? You want giants, dragons? Got it all, baby.
Well, it has to be. You know, we were talking about Michael Knowles being surrounded by the medium, and you know, you've got a boundary. Well, God has a boundary
He keeps
too.
on showing him up there, like as if he's in third person. I don't know. Would it be weird to keep on showing me up there on like here? I don't know.
He's got a very tight boundary. He's a perfect.
Oh.
He's perfect. He can't take anything.
James, you know how we know he's perfect? That freaking Jesus fucking lifts. Just pointing that out.
He can't take anything resembling imperfection, right? He can't take it into himself because that would be a contradiction.
Thinking.
Okay, so God needs an antithesis in order to be proper.
Hey, you got it, James. It would be boring if you didn't have a villain. So, gotta have some guy to go against them.
Defined. What is that antithesis? Anti-God or Satan.
Anti-God.
So it definitely exists. Now,
we're working shopping that one.
Satan isn't coherent because, you know, he basically hates existence. Nevertheless, he gains coherence through human beings, through secondary tellers, as they're called in the CTMU.
Why can't he just do stuff? I always love how Satan he makes people do evil things, like back here. He's being spooky, but, you know, he can't just come here and do evil, apparently.
In other words, Satan can nucleate power structures, for example. You know, things like corporations.
He can just control all of these people. But why? Why can't he just...
For fun. He likes it.
He just likes to do it. Why does God let him do this also? My new conundrum, James, is why did God kill Noah, but not Noah, all those babies in the Noah story, but allow Satan to live? Continually allow Satan to live. Just seems strange. But yeah, Satan, we went full on conspiracy.
Where you've got people in there that can be acquired as resources, and there's a kind of skeleton, you know, a corporate organization,
Jim
a
Carrey
governmental,
works for Satan.
you know, organization
Makes
that's
sense.
holding them together, holding them in place, that can be exploited. Saying the devil likes coherence. Coherence is what brings everything into superposition.
James, just absolutely abusing these words.
Right?
Okay.
So, in other words, it allows something to, this is going to sound a little bit paradoxical, allows something to communicate non-locally with itself.
Okay.
Right? All of
Communicate non-locally with itself. Do you need a prescription for that?
its possible states are in superposition. They exist all at once. Okay? And this is
Thank you,
pretty much understanding.
Langdon. All right, that made sense, right? Everyone got that? Were we all
that was jam-packed with wisdom, right?
I don't get who's playing who here better, because, you know, the theists, the Christians, technically get, you know, they're like, this the world's smartest man. He believes in God, and I believe in God. There we go. And yet he definitely doesn't believe in a God like them at all. And yet you could definitely tell towards the latter end there that he was cold reading, that he was just feeling what he thought that guy wanted and just saying it. At least that's what it felt like to me. But James, the wisdom, did you feel it?
It's an overflowing amount of wisdom, like a fire hose. It just keeps coming out at you.
It did.
You can't even dodge it.
But I will say, for at least 30 minutes or so, because tends to be a shorter open mic, but I would be remiss if we didn't at least open it up.
We can open it up, yeah.
So with that, in a moment, we are going to send in the open mic. I especially am sending an invite to those that disagree with us, whether we said anything tonight that you disagree with or just anything in general. But sending love to everyone out there. James, my goodness, this guy, like, I get it. He probably is smart. I didn't bring this up, but I saw something interesting on his wiki page that there's also been people looking into why he has not been more successful in life as such a smart, like, he's successful. He's a rancher, and there's nothing wrong with, farmers are probably the staple of civilization, but nonetheless, he is not Einstein. He is not presenting theories in the physics community. He's just a guy that probably knows a lot, but that doesn't mean he knows the theology. Well, knowing theology is another thing, because theology is bullshit. So I guess I should phrase that as he doesn't know how to prove a god. I don't fall. Sending so much love to Wesley. Sending us Stephanie, James, Kathy, OF, Victoria, Alan, everyone out there, Jaws. All right, I'm sending love. If you would like to join the panel, you can at this link. Join the panel. You can at blah blah blah. Here we go. Ghost Bros, you came on at the wrong time, or the right time. I said the wrong time. The right time, because I am sending the link out there to anyone. The gender thing is so boring. I do it. I've actually become more apt to do it in recent years because the reactionaries forced me to. I actually thought that the gender thing was going to chill out. I know. Well, sending so much love, Ghost Bros.
Well, it doesn't appear that happened.
But I feel like it's not. I think it's going to be used as a social issue. And so they're going to keep it in the news light for a few years. And then hopefully eventually everyone will calm down. And I don't know what it'll go on to next, if it'll go on to something next. But yeah. No, sending so much love, Alan. He says they say mean things because they're triggered at something else. And so I just want to bait them on. But I already see Stephanie behind stage. So in a second, we're going to go into the open mic and give her some time. Sending love, Jen. Yeah, I'll pin it. But we are going to get our first guest on. What's up, BV? What's up, everybody? Oh my God, that was a pure Wesley as we could get comment. I love you, Wesley. Can I ask you, Wesley? Have you seen the Fallout series on television? It's a recreation of the game, but you know. You would love it. It's like what you think's going to happen. Oh, yes, that's right. I don't know, James. What do you think? Do we have rules on... Mods are asking us what we should do. I feel like that's a Titan. Hold on. If I say his name 3 times, he might show up. Titan Uranus. Titan Uranus. So lucky. If you want to trigger religious people, you Titan Uranus. Oh, wait. No, that's what they do. If he violates... we love you, Wesley. Just don't violate the TOS.
If he's crossing lines, like
Yes, just don't cross the lines.
which he probably is.
Remember, there were three things. Oh, this is mean. There were three things at the beginning of the universe: hydrogen, helium, and a little bit of lithium. They sell the third at stores with a prescription. I'm just kidding. I love everyone out there. Please take everything. Sending so much love to you, Wesley. All right, we're going to bring in someone smarter than both of us. Let's get in Stephanie. And I'm sending love to all of you theists and creationists. Feel free to join. The link's there. Feel free to call me something mean to my face. I want it.
Ask
Oh,
her what a
my.
woman is.
I know. What's a woman? Oh, my God, James.
She can't answer that.
I can't answer. James, no one can answer that. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty
There can
sure.
only be one Highlander.
And with that, ooh, can I see it? That's weird. I see her camera down below and yet down here I see only a black screen. Maybe it's just me. Stephanie.
Well, no, it's that StreamYard has become extremely peculiar of late.
Gotcha. Well, we're just happy to have you on. Stephanie, welcome aboard. We are Skeptic and Ranting on the world's smartest man claims he can prove the existence of God. How are you and what are you doing?
I'm pretty well. I hope that God, I hope that Knowles wasn't claiming to be the world's smartest man because he's dumber. He's numb as a hake, honestly. It's just not, he knows what his audience wants. He's smart in that regard.
He's
Clever like Fox. And he certainly knows what a woman is, according to him.
I'm sure he does. Unless you ask, they know gender very well until you talk about Father God. And then they're like, well, of course it has to be a male and a him and a...
And if you go with Ms. I forget the biblical scholar who wrote The Body of God. I don't know. It's like Jacob grabbed God by the nuts, so there's that. So I don't know.
I mean, God seems to be pissed off at little things. There was someone who pulled out. A guy pulled out. Not to be, once again, I'm not being risque. This is the Bible. And then God killed him. Good times.
Good times. Good times are coming. They sure are coming slow. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going
to... Oh, I think you... didn't hear the last part, but I assume it was turned off camera.
Yeah, I was turned off camera.
Aha.
StreamYard is the only streaming service that does this. But I will drop at untoward times. I don't know why. And it only just started happening after they raised their prices, which I think is rather weird.
Screw them for raising prices. I'm just kidding, hand that feeds.
Well, look, I mean, I can stream on EVMux, I can stream on Talk Studio, I can stream on all sorts of other places, but I can't do it on StreamYard with any kind of consistency these days. No idea why.
That's kind of weird.
Very weird. Anyway, that was an unbelievably stupid.
Yes, it was. Oh, you froze, but we all know what you said, and yes, it was. It was unbelievably stupid.
Yeah, how unenlightening can it get when, all this nebulous bullshit talk. I just can't anymore with these people. I just can't anymore with these people. They just go on and on and on about absolute fucking nonsense. And it doesn't seem to me that it bears any relationship whatsoever until it touches real life. And usually when it does touch real life, migrants get hurt. Queer people get hurt. Trans people get hurt. Somebody gets hurt that ain't white, cis-normative, and male.
All I know is that these types of people seem to be the least like the Jesus that they seem to worship.
Well, I think it's dangerous for any of us to transplant social norms from one time period to another. But
Oh, sure, these books are old.
I'm not to get all Lord of the Rings on this, but we have to deal with what's going on in our time, not what might go on in the future or what did go on in the past. And the failing of many of the people that are featured in videos like this.
The failing in those videos are?
The failing in this video is the introduction of complete distraction. That what possible consequence does any of this stuff have to do with people's real lives in the here and now? Does it make any sense? Or does it really matter? Homelessness went up 18% in this nation over the past year. Okay. There's a war on, there's a genocide on in the Middle East. There's, the program of the incoming government is my elimination. Does it matter to anyone? Does it fucking matter to anyone? And this kind I'm sorry, Amy?
Oh no, that's the last thing we heard, then you cut off. You said "and this kind."
This kind of, are you hearing me?
Yes.
Please, if I do cut out, say you cut out.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't continue with thought beyond where I was. This kind of presentation by Michael Knowles is designed to distract from what is really going on right now and the program that is about to be introduced on a nationwide level.
You broke off. Nationwide level is last thing you said.
To disenfranchise group after group after group after group for the benefit of the wealthy, the privileged, those that got theirs at the expense of those that will never have a chance in their eyes and do not deserve a chance to participate as full human beings in society. And to the extent that we're distracted from what is going on is the extent to watching their program succeed. We can laugh about it, but they've been pulling this.
You cut off. You said you can laugh about it.
You can laugh about it, but they've been pulling this shit off for decades. And we need to stop fooling ourselves and start fighting against them.
Amen. I was telling James, my hair's getting bluer and bluer. I am Viva la Resistance. Though, can I tell?
Hey,
Oh
look.
no,
Hey, look at my hair is white, silver even. I'm 71 years old. I hope y'all have the fucking balls and stamina to hang in there and fight this fight. I'll do it as long as I can. But we need to stop fucking piddly.
Oh, you cut off, and you said we need to stop.
We piddly pissing around with these motherfuckers who are determined to kill us and realize that's their goal. We need to fucking fight them. And we need to tell the people that say, oh, I have your back. Well, notice the fucking brick wall my back is up against and the firing squad that's in front of me, and do something more than pay lip service to the fact that I'm going to be the first one to die and you're going to fucking turn your back on me. And don't fucking blame me for my own situation. That's the I'm so pissed that at people like Cenk Uyghur going on about how trans people cost the Democrats the election. No, you fuckers didn't stand up.
I'm trying to hold myself off, Stephanie, because I've been trying not to get political, but I will say it. I'll talk a little bit. It definitely wasn't us. I know that they use that ad over and over and over, and there is a segment that will try to say that we're the reason, but I continue to try to point out, but
Republicans use that ad, and the Democrats never, ever,
counter it.
Once stood up for us.
It annoys me because it's not our issue. It is an artificially created issue. If you look at the three issues, bathrooms, lockers, and sports, all three of those things are just part of being a human. And so what it was is we got accepted into society and we just went about our lives. And then what happened is they reacted. They had these, they're like, well, we could maybe find a social issue here, and a social issue here, and a social, and they started creating a problem. They began fighting, and now they are trying to push back on basically us just having a regular, normal life because, you know, they have to say things like, well, of course I'll accept transgender here, and I want you to be anything here, but then they come after us here, 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 here. And generally speaking, all of those issues are just wanting to be a normal person. And so, yeah, I think we should fight back. I would say the early on, it was like a gut punch, this latest election. And I have been slowly picking myself back up. And Stephanie fell off. And I consider myself part of the Viva la Resistance. I mean, she did. She might be back, and we'll talk for a few more minutes. But then if not, we'll also to tuck back. There's a chance she'll come back. She said she has been. But I've just been enjoying the political environment that has been going on the past few days. Again, as a non-Trump supporter, it has been interesting to watch the factions within the Trump people fight each other. Again, I should not be doing what they basically did to me, which is Schadenfreude. What's the German word where you like the pain of others? But it is just an interesting political environment, and I think the next 4 years are going to be chaos. La 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 la. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you two things. I can and probably Schadenfreude. Thank you. I will continue and probably increasingly eventually, because there's only so much I can hold back, criticize this admin. That being said, I'll also.
Well, I mean, that's going to start on day one. That's all that they're going. They're all ready for it. They just go do a frenzy like last time. It's unavoidable.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be fun because, like I said, I think. Well, I'll give my side at least. I don't think he'll do most of the things that he says, and I'm looking forward. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing. I hope that he doesn't deport people. And there's actually an increasing look that I think he won't deport people. And why? Because the people that are around him may change his mind. He may, his views change depending on the person that he's in front of. And so if other people are in front of him that aren't Stephen Miller, or Steve Bannon, Stephen Miller, unfortunately, is going to still be close to him.
Well, that's why he's not appointing establishment people like he did last time. He's appointing people who are more on top on his agenda.
I also find he's most of his admin is legacy media. And so a lot of it is Fox News hosts. A lot of it are rich people. And it's almost kind of the opposite of the working class, which again, I can't help but in a weird kind of way enjoy. I'm also trying to fight a political nihilism in which I know that there's the chaos is about to follow, and I think that his supporters think that it will not, and everything's going to go fine, if not become better. And I find that funny. I can't say that any other way. Again, I'll even say further. I try to offer this olive branch. It's not the Trump supporters that I hate, because I actually think that they're victims in the same way that we do our videos. They are being sold a dream.
It's really just give me a few seconds, because I never know when StreamYard will disconnect. And it's really weird. Like we do an entire 2, sometimes 3 hours of the transpositions on Talk Studio. Never have a fucking problem. Do time.
Just cut off. You said due time.
Yeah.
On the line on EV Mux. Never have a problem. StreamYard.
Why?
It's unstable. They doubled their prices. The whole thing became unstable. Y'all keep doing it, but Jesus Christ, I don't understand. Anyway, the situation we have right now is like shit's gonna go down. It's been promised the shit that's gonna go down. We know what's coming. We've told you what's coming. It's gonna come, and you're gonna be surprised. It's like, oh gee, I never thought that would happen to you. And to me, that's one of the worst things, is that I've told my.
You just cut off.
I've told people who are close to me, who are really troubled about how to vote in the last election. Look, here's the real, here's the real reals. This is what these people say they're going to do to people like myself. They're going to do it. They're not joking. Your choice. But if you make that choice and you don't see me in April, you'll know why. I love you, but this is what Germany in 1933 looked like. It is.
The worst.
I hate to get
Okay,
I hate to get grim about.
Oh, you cut off. I hate to get grim about it.
But for reals, for reals. And my only question to those people who stood by is, where are you going to be in 2020, 2030? Where are you going to be in 2039? After 13 years, 2038. When the courts come after you and say, what did you do? When it's your turn at Nuremberg, what are you going to be saying? Because a lot of people are going to get hurt.
Hey, Pat.
Some of us.
Well, just send in love to Pat. You're good stuff.
Some of us sooner than later. And what we're doing on the transpositions, we're trying to keep it upbeat and trying to keep reporting, trying to keep joking, trying to have some humor. But like at the end of the film Cabaret, the camera pans and the cabaret is full of Nazis. If we don't want it to go there, then we need to fucking stand up and fight and take it seriously.
Amen. Oh.
I guess that's all she had to say. Unless she...
I got two things that leave me hopeful. And then we'll continue on because I feel bad for Pat. It is true that we try. I think we try to focus on religion because it's something we all agree on. And sometimes I think people, even myself, got overwhelmed with politics sometimes. And so this could be a refuge. And then sometimes there'll be other episodes where I also think it's important. I just want to say
Good night,
two
James.
things. Night, James. Mwah, mwah. Is that I'm hoping that while still agreeing with everything that Stephanie said, because it really is important that we stand up and fight. Please don't get too apathetic. I do have this, like I said, political nihilism on some of the things that I see coming, and yet it's because I don't know how to handle it right now. I'll give you an example, is tariffs. Is that I am both dreading, fearing, and almost looking forward to tariffs. Because if he implants it, I can think of no better way for him to get back at his own voters than to implant tariffs. Once again, I don't hate anyone on any political spectrum. I'm not going to hate you because you're good choices. So let me close the door in case someone's. It's a little bit more meta than that. It's about caring about the ones
Chris.
that. Oh my goodness! I know he says no mention, but
so I would just say that. So I think nobody's under the illusion that the tariffs won't hurt. The tariff side is just that the benefits of them are going to be better than the costs. The benefits in terms of government revenue, in terms of protecting domestic industries, there will be a cost. But when you're running a trade deficit, then the cost lies more with the other person, the other
But can I
side
ask,
of those tariffs.
are you going to be okay with paying 20, 30, 40% more for basic goods?
Well, I don't think it'll be quite like that. But if the prices do go up, you know, we're gonna have to see how it gets implemented and everything. It's not going to be the end of the world. He did tariffs before.
It's not.
They all decried, oh, it's a trade war, it's this, it's that. Nothing really happened, you know.
It's just I don't understand how putting a tax on a private company isn't going to do anything but shove that price onto the consumer.
Right. So I mean, we've tried this free trade experiment for like the past 40 years, and it hasn't worked out for us. So people just want to go in the other direction. You know, it's okay. That hasn't worked. Let's try the other thing.
Yes, but that's what I mean. I don't know how. Okay, like I said,
they're not economists. They're not like economists, like with a detailed plan or anything. It's just,
I know
that hasn't worked. Let's try the other way. Maybe that will produce some positive
Like
results.
I said, I could not, if you wanted a way, if you were like, what is a way to hurt the people who voted for Trump, I would say make all of the poor people items, the items at Walmart, more expensive. It's going to make his own items more expensive. Though he may also not put tariffs because, like I said, he flip-flop on the TikTok ban and all that. So he may flip-flop on deporting. He may flip-flop.
I mean, it could be
who knows?
A negotiation tactic to try to get better deals with, you know. Although the Biden administration kept most of his tariffs from the first, they're still in effect. Most of them are anyway.
Yes, we'll see. But I do just want to send out love to everyone out there. The other thing is that Congress is mostly split. And so he can't really pass anything that crazy without Democrats. And I feel like, at least in the past few days, they're more split than we. Well, I shouldn't say we, because I really am independent, even if I'm further caucusing with like Bernie right now. Even as watching the actual cost results of Trump's economic policies will be very interesting to watch. I'm going to see what actually is implemented versus rhetoric. Yes, because if he were to implement some of these policies, I think he would have almost instant backlash. There's people putting money in his pocket right now, and that's going to make him think differently.
Well, actually, the most volatile, the riskiest thing for him is this DOGE, this Department of Government Efficiency, because even they're saying that in order to cut the budget, like they're talking about, it's going to be real pain, which I don't think they will actually have the fortitude to go ahead and impose that.
They have. It is going to be a mostly toothless organization. They're going to be able to issue recommendations, and then you can take those recommendations as you please. My favorite thing about the Department of Government Efficiency, is that it has two heads. The very first, from day one, this department is less efficient than any other government department. You already have to answer to two people. I like it.
Well, I mean, it's like, Ronald Reagan, he came in office. He was going to cut taxes, balance the budget, cut spending. And, we got that tax cut part done, but he never was able to cut spending because it would have been politically too hard for him to do.
And let me at least address Stephanie's point, because she may be right. That is, I sit up here and I talk very calmly, and I have to live life normally, just as, every other LGBTQ woman and minority will have to. But we don't actually know what's going to happen. Is he going to rip away all of the LGBTQ rights? Is he going to forget about us entirely? It is almost like just a complete roll of the dice. This is what I hate about him most, is he is apolitical, and thus his views are completely up for sale. And the people who are in his pocket right now are either the fundamentalists, the religious crowd, or the tech billionaires. And all right. So please be active. I know that everyone is tired of political content. We just had an election, and I'm not asking you to go subscribe to political channels. What I am saying is please don't check yourself out, because the people that we try to vote against, that would actually work in their favor. All right? You don't have to pound on doors. You don't need to argue with everyone on Facebook. All I'm saying is please don't completely check yourself out of the civic system. As hard as it was for me to get started in that, because I did not vote for many years, I learned that if you do not care about politics, politics cares about you. So please, yes. I am just sending love. The person who doesn't probably want to be mentioned, I'm not going to mention their name, and yet I'm just going to keep on sending them love out there because they know who they are. James, we're about to come to minute 30. Excuse me. Before we sending so much love, Pat. Can I tell you, I can now feel like I can wear that title. I was so shy when I first was teaching, and now, oh my goodness, I call them kids, and I have to go, these are grad students. These are adults who most likely have children. So maybe I should not be calling them. But Pat, I'm sending so much love to you. I see so many fantastic people out there. Jaws, Beamsy, Stephanie, even you, Wesley. Sending some love to Darren, Bert, BV.
Got a great crew. We had 40-some people in here. It's been a while since
It was a
midnight
great
stream.
It was a great stream. We probably have to keep... James, this is just telling me that we need to do more midnight streams again. And
We need to do more midnight streams.
sending so much love, Bert. I'll see if anyone else is on. I doubt it, but
Good. Yeah, good night, Wes.
no one else is live. Atheist Experience was live. The Line was live. Go check out all of their content. It is. Sometimes there's something. Mark was doing something the other day. Go check out Mark's. Thank you so much, Simon.
This guy's got to get up and preach in a few hours. It's Saturday night, so thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. And the person who sent that message, I just want them to know that I also saw it, and I want to thank you so very much. And once again, they know who they are, so thank you so very much. But all of our viewers at the Skeptic and Ranting community, heck,
pretty busy, Pat.
Gotta give a call. James, Pat, I will continue to think of you as holding both a whip and about to remove a skull and replace it with something else. I basically view you as Indiana Jones,
leaving like a dozen dead Nazis in his wake. Just shooting him as he goes by, just nonchalant.
Exactly. What's up, Rembrandt? You got an island. Woo! And okay. James, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I hope
Wrap
you
it
all
up.
had a fun, fantastic
Safe
time
sex.
on this. That's
Wrap it
that's right.
Wesley is never gone. He'll be back.
Yes, until the bombs drop. Hey James, can I tell you something? War never changes.
Tell me anyway.
That won't
Tell me
mean
anyway,
anything to
Newman.
you. Go watch the Fallout series, James. Just go watch Fallout. It's a good series. You don't have to play the games.
Listen, I'm just trying to get through an old Blacklist series from 2014. You ever see it?
I haven't. Is it good?
The first season, it's pretty good. On Netflix.
Oh, yeah. Good on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I need to also watch that new Batman if you're looking for crime. The Penguin.
The Program just came out.
The Program.
It's talking about the program, the crash retrieval and reverse engineering program. Or the drones quote that we see flying over.
Okay, can I just have a comment on that?
Yeah,
just my one comment.
Yeah,
and that is why in New Jersey? That's how I know it's not aliens. I know it's not a conspiracy. All right? Can we all agree that if Iran was about to come conquer the United States, aliens were about
Hoboken
to come
would be the first place they would go. Hoboken, New Jersey.
I feel like Ocean City. I think my Buttercup is messing with her bigger brother.
Then did you see the meme Donald Trump put out with Chris Christie on the beach and all the McDonald's drones coming to drop him on McDonald's?
Him and McDonald's. I can't say that. Why actually share that with him is that I eat McDonald's way too much. I'll continue to say I think
was that Moonlight?
That's Moonlight and Buttercup.
Moonlight.
Buttercup saying hi. Oh my goodness. Because the worst traits that I have, I share with him. Like the eating McDonald's and,
guzzling cum.
And guzzling cum. He gave metaphorical oral. He mimed oral to a microphone, right? Right? We all saw that.
I did it.
You didn't?
No.
Oh my god. Have you really not seen it?
I could look it up or send me a link. I'll look at it.
I kind of. Will we get if I just do this real quick? It'd be like an ending thing. So, president, our incoming president of the United States.
I don't know. Is he singing YMCA?
YMCA. Ah, good times. Oh, did I might not put the sound on. I should have put the sound on.
Well, he might, Victoria. He might have the same slippers as him.
He might indeed. Oh, might indeed.
There's probably somebody right now getting catfished on some social media site by somebody pretending to be him, in a relationship with some conservative gay man, thinking that they're going to run off together.
I know people call him. I say I know people. I've seen people in comments call him Daddy Trump. Daddy. Actually, my favorite right now is President Elon. Vice, where is he? Vice Lee, I took him off the screen. And Vice President Trump. Poor JD
Oh, they said
Vance.
this. They said that thing about Steve Bannon the first one.
Yeah, Steve Bannon's getting kicked out. Seems like it.
He'll be back.
Mac, better than ever. I can't help myself. Because I probably
16 was A New Hope. 20 was Empire Strikes Back. 24 is Return of the Donald.
well, hopefully the Jedi win. That's all I'm hoping for. It'll be okay. Because hopefully, I still stand by. Once again, this sounds like an ad hom. And like he has his moments where he can clearly, advertising and stuff like that. But I'm hoping that their idiocy just brings them down. And so we could just eat popcorn. And I'll end with the best quote, which is, when you're born into this world, you come into the freak show. When you're an American, you get a front row seat. Thank you, Georgie. All right. This has been our Skeptic and Ranting on World.
All right, Newman. Way to go, Newman. There you go. You killed it.
Listen, I'm trying to send love because I really could. I could go politically
You could.
on a rant
Thank you,
for a
Victoria.
long time. And yet, like I said, I feel like some people want the escape, like they come here for non-political content. So sometimes I have to hold myself. And other times I feel like, you say you have a platform. If you don't say anything, maybe that was the reason why you're in this position to begin with. So now I go back and forth. I'm having a civil war within.
Division of labor. Not everybody's a political commentator. It's just,
It's true.
not everybody. There are plenty of pundits, and not everybody can be.
And I also think that I want to save. If I really want to, I should really go up on stage and I should collect some comedy. I should be working on a routine, a good routine. You're able to think about it, and you're able to get everybody, generally speaking, on side with you by the end of your bit. You're never going to win everybody over, but it means that if you cross paths and make people that disagree with you kind of see how you're feeling.
Yeah.
That's what a great comedian, is able to do. And yeah. Meow. Okay, actually, here's gonna be our new. Oh wow, there's 3 cats in this room. No wonder. Oh my goodness.
Well, there are 7 cats in that room.
Oh, there's 7 cats. Yes, we love cats. Cat sponsored. All right, James. There's only so much we can stretch out. I can do yoga.
Oh, you can do Pilates.
But I hope that you we had a fun time because this once again, just to end it up, we talked about Christopher Lang. We'll probably I may do 1 or 2 more of him because, excuse me, my goodness, does he say some ridiculous things? Gizmo.
Here we go. He's a little tired. He's taking a nap. But...
And sending love, Stephanie. We'll make it okay. You're right. This isn't the situation that I want to be in, but the only way to make it better is to resist. Yes, Gizmo.
They like it when you resist.
Like I said, James, my hair is getting bluer because I feel like we've had some reactionary movements. I know you will disagree on this, but that doesn't matter. Like the Roe v. Wade thing, I feel like it's pushed me to the left on the issue because I have to. Because I feel like, once again, not to get too into it, but I feel like it's the first time that rights have actually went the other direction. And that is alarming to me. And that makes me think maybe we really do need to stand up for the rights that we have. Once again, I know there's going to be many more discussions. If you disagree, that's okay as well. Anyone out there, I don't hate you because you disagree with me. Let's have more good discussions. And that is the moderate in me. I'll always have a moderate stripe in me, even as I am a liberal. Nonetheless, let's get out of here, James. Let's
Go.
tuck everybody in. We have been midnight ranting. Well, I say midnight ranting because it's midnight. We've been skeptic and ranting. We've been midnight skeptically ranting on the world's smartest man claims that he could prove the existence of God, where we watched a video from the channel Motivation Manifested. We saw this dude, by the way, on screen like 3 or 4 times, James, in like his schmuck or whatever, and holding a cigar. He wanted to look elegant with a wine glass. I thought that was funny. But yes, for a video called World's Smartest Man, asterisk, 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 claims he could prove the existence of God, asterisk, 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 for a time so intelligent it would theologically blow our mind. I do want to thank my co-host, James W., along with our panel, Stephanie, woo! As well as all the people in chat, our awesome mods who make this stream so great, and lovely viewers like you who make this channel even possible. If you enjoy the show, please don't forget to like, follow, or subscribe. Woohoo! Because then you can hit that bell icon to all and see our premieres or join our live streams. Or hey, why not leave a comment once the video is done? I do want to send all that love to all of the super thanks out there. Oh, James, no. He got summoned by Satan. That happens sometimes. But all of the people out there sending love to Farron Salis and Native Atheist and Disciple Day and everyone out there who sent out love and support, as well as sending love to our channel members so you can become a member and get our evolving badge system. That's right. Our badges just evolve over time. More evolution content upcoming because I can't help myself. As well as sending love to all of our Patreons at patreon.com/Amy Newman. I am Amy Newman, and along with James W. Woo! And along with
Good
James
night,
W.,
everybody.
we will
Thank you,
see
guys.
you all on the next episode of Skeptic Policy. Good night. Mwah. Ha 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 ha.
Ha ha ha.
Good night. Mwah.